for the month of February and some parts of March, we had been discussing the topic investments. And coincidentally, we celebrated the International Women's Day on the 8th of March. We did the International Women's Day. So as part of events to support the celebration of International Women's Day, for this month, we have one woman joining us as a guest speaker to help us discuss the topic, investments, choose to challenge. This topic was chosen in conjunction with the theme for this year's International Women's Day celebration. You are welcome. Kindly drop any question or any suggestion or any comment that you have in the chat box as the speaker speaks. When we get to the Q&A session, we'll pick the questions from there. Thank you very much. This is the program outline. We started at 6, gave 5 minutes for others to log on. We are starting the discussion we start with the introduction, 5 minutes, then we move to the discussion. We'll end the discussion at 6:25. Give 10 minutes for Q&A session. We have our closing remarks 6:35 to 6:40. Then hopefully we bring the meeting to an end at 6:40. So we start. Investments. I'll start with this quote from the Finance Gem. Our investment gives a true reflection of our lifestyle. You all agree with me that this is quite deep, but unfortunately, that is the truth. Whatever investment that you are doing into your life now is giving a reflection of what your lifestyle is. As we celebrate International Women's Day, let's choose to challenge our commitment to invest. And to help us deliberate and discuss this topic, I have the honor to introduce Ophelia Mawina Chenupo, but we affectionately call her Mawina. Mawina is a chartered accountant with a combined 10 years of experience in finance, accounting, and audit field in leading multinational firms. Currently, she runs her own audit and accounting practice with her partner. She's an entrepreneur and a coach in different sectors. She's very passionate about mental health advocacy and loves to share inspiration through her blog, OMT Digest. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Ophelia Mawina Chenupo. So to take up the discussion from here. Mawina, you're welcome.
Thank you, Jemima. And hello to everyone. I hope you are having a good Sunday.
Yes, at least the weather is cool.
And the lights
not the
are
usual hot weather we've experienced.
Yeah, very good.
Okay. So I think, like Jemima mentioned, we have the choose to challenge. So I think when she mentioned the investments, we realized that there are some kind of one-sided or misconceptions about what investment is all about. So we decided to have this just brief session to also kind of clear that misconception. So before we delve into what we want to discuss, we want to give a definition of investment. We're not going to go the technical way that we all see investment is linked to when we hear the word investment. So the whole definition is to kind of clear that misconception we have. Actually speaking, there are people who are investing, but they don't see that as an investment. So by the end of the session, you realize that, oh yeah, I'm making an investment, but probably I didn't think that was an investment. So to help with that understanding, what is investment? I decided to go down to get a less technical definition. So if you go to the Cambridge dictionary, it says, what's an investment? It says it's the act, I'm taking it slowly, the act of putting money, time into something to make a profit or get an advantage. So yeah, there's money, there's effort, and there's time. So those are the inputs. And the results, we want to get a profit or we want to get an advantage. So when we talk about investment, that's what we are talking about. Mama, we can move to the next slide.
Thank you.
Okay. So like I mentioned, we want to clear some misconceptions about investment. Sometimes you have a discussion with a friend, you talk about investment, and the first thing that comes up is, oh, I cannot invest. So my salary is not a lot. My business income is not stable. I can't invest. Oh, my money is, I just have 50 CDs. I can't invest. It's too small to start an investment. But I want to debunk these misconceptions. For instance, we usually have that mindset that, okay, if I earn 200 CDs, I'm taking away all my bills. At the end of the day, what I have is what I'm going to save. But if you create that discipline, okay, I earn 200 CDs, I'm going to put 10% down towards maybe my savings or something I want to invest in. So 10% of 200, that's 20 CDs. The same way you are dedicated to paying your let's say your utility bills, if you put that kind of same dedication towards your savings and investment, you'll be surprised. You say, oh, it's easier said than done. But let me give a scenario. You started working. Your salary was, let's say, 1,000 cedis. You were fine. You're able to pay your bills, you're able to live, you're able to survive. Over the years, your salary goes to 2,000, 3,000, but still you feel that the money is still not sufficient for you to save or do anything. But there's a change. Like Jemima mentioned in the introduction, your lifestyle, because you are earning more, you feel, okay, my lifestyle has to change. I'm not saying you shouldn't have fun, you should chill, but you should also ensure that you make provision, put some money aside, like some percentage of your money aside. If you're on the same 1,000 CDs for 5 years, you would live, you pay your bills, you survive. So when you move to 2,000, I think shouldn't you be able to save, invest, or do something else? So moving to 2,000, what caused that change that you still can't put some money aside to invest? So when you think about that, it means there's a lifestyle change. I know when you're on 1,000, oh, I want to use an iPhone. I want a Mac laptop. So once the money gets there, then now, okay, I get an iPhone, I get this. Then some of these things also come with maintenance costs. So it's like you are hooked onto something and some other costs coming. So the beginning, learn to kind of have that discipline that, okay, my money comes. For me, I've lived on less, I've lived on a lot before. So what I do now is I have an Excel app on my phone. So once I get the money, I've indicated the expenses. So if let's say savings is 10%, 10%, tithe 10%, I have to pay fees, I have to pay this. I put it there. Then I see what's left. Okay, so it means this month I have maybe only 1,000 CDs or 200 CDs available. So it means this month I have to manage with this amount. And you'll be surprised if you work it from that angle, you'll be surprised that you'll be able to manage within that amount. And when the money drops naturally, it's easy. You'll be shopping here and there and all that. So you won't be able to keep that savings culture. So I say the same way you are dedicated to paying your bills, keep that same dedication to saving. So like for instance, I'm talking about a lot of money. Let's say for instance, you decide that, okay, I'm going to keep 50 CDs. Let's keep it simple. You have this manager at home. So you have 50 cedis a week. In a month, that's like 4 weeks. You're going to have 200 cedis. In 3 months, that's like 600 cedis. So let's say you say, oh, this 600 cedis, me, I'm afraid of risk. So let me go and put it in a T-bill. Let's say 91 day T-bill, that's like 3 months. That's currently like between 12 to 13%. The money is not a lot. You would get like between 19 to 20 cedis over the next 3 months on your 600 cedis. It's not a lot, but it's much better than having it there sitting in your account. The rate of interest you earn on your savings, at the end of the day, when you deduct the bank charges, you realize that you're not even making any gain on that. So like you said, regardless of the amount, just something small every week, every day. If you think you won't be dedicated to it, you can just set up a standing order on your account so that at least you know that Charlie, it's a standing order. Whatever I do, that deduction will happen. So if you know you can't stick to it, then you set up a standing order on your account. Okay, now we can move to the meeting. Okay, so ways to invest. So I think we decided to ask Jemima asked for questions before the session, and like expected, they were all kind of tuned to a certain angle. So ways to invest. How do you invest? Like I said, there are some misconceptions about what investment entails. So right now, let's say you want to have this professional qualification. Maybe in a month, you're supposed to take an exam. Maybe the exam is 500 cedis. So decide that, okay, every week, let me try and put in maybe 150 cedis or something so that I can start writing this exam towards this qualification. You are putting in some money every week. So by the end of the month, let's say you gather your 600 cedis. You're able to register for the exam, write and pass. You give yourself another time. Over a period, you gain that professional qualification. And if you are going, let's say you're looking for a job or you're going to consult or something, it adds value to you. So you can up your price because of that value. You pay that investment, you gain that qualification. That is an investment. That is also an investment. Another thing, from a non-financial perspective, let's say, okay, I'm working, I think I want some other income, but maybe I don't have the money to pay to be trained. I want to sew, I want to bake or something. I don't have that money to be trained. So I'll say maybe 1 hour a day or maybe 5 hours a week. I'm going to dedicate that time. Maybe I'm going to go to YouTube. These days, we are lucky, you get free content. So I'm going to go to YouTube and learn something every day, every week. Imagine the knowledge you have acquired, let's say by even 6 months or 1 year. Acquire the knowledge, try it out, learn from your errors, try it out again. Gradually, you become an expert. So you'd have gained an additional skill which you could use to generate income. So although you didn't invest money, or you would invest money by buying the data anyway, but you didn't invest significant money, you put in your time and all that. At the end of the day, you are gaining that extra advantage. You gain that skill, that knowledge you can use to earn additional income. So that's also another way of investing. So if you are there and you're saying, oh, my boss doesn't pay me a lot, my business is slow, so there's nothing coming in, I can't do anything. This is another way with a less cost burden on you that you can also try it out. There are a lot of free information online. So just look on for something that you think is reliable. There are sites like allison.com. I think there's Coursera. There are quite a number of them where you can just subscribe and keep on learning. You'll be surprised. Then the third one, which we all know, is probably you want to invest in shares, you want to invest in mutual funds or treasury bills or anything. But I know currently with what happened with the financial institutions and all that, my advice is do your homework. Get your homework done. You can have an expert if you call anyone at any let's say investment house and you say, oh, I want this investment, they'll sell it to you. It's their job. But at the end of the day, it's your money. So you also have to put in time to understand, know what you want, like your risk profile. Am I someone who is ready to take on a lot of risk? Am I someone who likes moderate risk or low risk? Low risk, then you mean you are going for treasury bills. Whatever you do is a government security, so you get your money back. Just that the return is low. So like the more risks you want to take, the more returns you want. So you also have to do that. And one other important thing is, okay, let's say I want to invest in Bank A Limited. They have maybe this investment product. One other thing you can do is you can check the bank's financial statement. Even if you don't have that knowledge, you can get an expert to help you. Because you also have to assess their financial performance. Not just, oh, my money is working for me. You have to try and monitor. You have to have that personal commitment to at least gain some working understanding of how things work. So that at least when you see that, no, the way things are going, my money might be at risk, you know you are withdrawing your money. Another thing is you can just try about 2 or 3 different financial institutions so that at least your income is diversified. Imagine you have just one and something happens to it, and it means that's the end of everything. So you can invest, you can get advice, but also do your homework. Ask all the questions. Don't invest based on hearsay. So those are ways you can invest. So like Jemima said, the key is we want to kind of cause a change in our investment behavior. You want to encourage that savings habits. It has to be consistent, not something you just do and stop. It's quite difficult, especially when you now have to start with something, take some money out. Your lifestyle has to change a bit, but once you start and get used to it, it now becomes like a habit. So there's a challenge. Jemima will take on from there. I'm sure you are up for the challenge. Are you up for the challenge? You have to be. All right, so Jemima will take it from there.
Thanks, Mawena. So I'll take it up from here. Are you ready for the challenge? And I guess most of us are. But before we start, let's take note of these points. So the first one is there's nothing like an ideal amount for investments. No. Just have in mind, okay, I have this amount, I can invest. It doesn't matter how small it is. What is small to you is big to someone. You can also agree on a percentage that I want to invest, let's say 10%, 20%. So whilst we are going through these steps, just have in mind a specific amount, a specific percentage that you want to do. Then we go to the next step. Let's take an investment journey one step at a time. This, we are referring to the frequency. So decide, okay, I have 50 cedis I want to invest. That was the step one. I want to invest 10% of my income. Now ask yourself, how are you going to do this investment? Are you going to do it on a daily basis, weekly, monthly, or even annually? So decide, okay, looking at the way I get my income, I'm going to do it annually if it works for you. Looking at the way I get my income, I'm going to do it weekly. So now we have the amount, we've agreed on the frequency. Then we move to the next point. The time to invest is now. Like we said in our earlier presentation, nothing is too small. You don't just say, okay, I'm waiting till I earn so much before I start investing. The time to invest now is now. And how are we going to do this challenge? We can do it individually. We have decided how much we want to invest. We have decided on the frequency, and now we have to take the step. This is the challenge that you and we are choosing to do. Aside individually, we can form investment groups. or even just two. You and your friend can say, okay, sometimes the discipline is not there. I'm not sure I can be putting this money aside, but can you check up on me on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis to ensure that it is done? You see that traditionally, I don't know whether it's peculiar with women or business women, they keep doing this susu, that they put the money together 1 week, then they give it to one person. They put the money together 1 week, then they give it to one person. It's a way of ensuring that the discipline is there. So just like how we had just discussed, if you cannot be disciplined, why not team up with other people? The group doesn't need to be big. It could be one person checking up on you. It could be two people. Okay, why don't we put our money together? And like Mawena said, it's not just money. We have time, we have efforts. So for instance, you need to learn a certain skill. You might not have the means now, but you can work together with somebody who is also in that field to help you. So the person is now going to dedicate his or her time for you. You also have to dedicate your effort. So if the person is taking you through a skill, you should also spend extra time and effort to pick up the skills. And like we said, with investment, it will make you prepared for the future. Thank you. So now we'll take our Q&A, our question. Then once we are done, we'll come back and conclude. So we'll start with, let's check if there had been any chats. Okay, so Mawena, I have the first question. What can tell us about currency? Okay, can you tell us about currency trading business? It appears to be a new kind of investment.
It's there, but I'm not an expert.
So Mawena, like the Bitcoin question we had. Remember?
Yeah, I remember. I'm not an expert in investment analysis. So but currency exchange is more or less like like people say, I'm buying the dollar will go up. So maybe if the current rate is low, okay, if I buy the dollar, by maybe next month it will go it will increase. So if I change the CD, I would have made a gain on it. So that is like currency trading. But there's more to it. There's more to it. So if you want to engage in that, I would advise that you consult an expert in that to go deeper into that.
Thanks, Mawena. So to add to it, like the tip we shared in the course of the month, one thing you must know in investment is the higher the returns, the higher the risks. And it's worth noting that if we refer to risks, it actually means you can virtually lose everything. So fine, currency trading business can give you higher return, but go with the mindset that whatever return you are going to get, you have the same risks at hand. And like what Mawena said, you need to assess yourself. What is your risk level? What is your tolerance level? Me, I know myself. Sometimes I limit myself to certain investments. Even though it will give so much, I can't take a lot of risks. So I'm happy, even if I'm getting small returns, I'm okay. But there are people who will take that challenge and they also get the returns. So like she said, just understand yourself. Are you ready for risks? If I lose everything, am I okay? I cannot bear it. So for me, just understand yourself. And also let's be every investment comes with risks. And that's where we normally overlook. And when the other thing happened, that's when we keep saying, okay, there's no need to invest. I did this and I had that. Yeah. But just bear that in mind. Okay, so we move to our next question from Joseph. How do we cater for inflation in our small savings?
Ideally, when you're talking about inflation, we are talking about what's the name? The increase in the prices of goods and services. Yes. It's quite difficult because in our country, inflation, cost of living adjustments, they move in different directions. So it's quite difficult. But I would advise, like, it all depends. There are various things you can do, but depending on your risk tolerance, me, like Jemima said, if you know you can't take so much, you go for T-bills. But you check that, I don't know, what's the current inflation rate?
I think it should be around 16% or around that.
Then it means even the current T-bill rate is even less than it.
Like
So
how?
if I think when I checked the 91 day, I haven't checked the others, that was like 13%. So if inflation around 16%, even that one doesn't cover for inflation. So what I realized that you would have to, most of these financial institutions, they have different investment packages. You have to call them, speak to them, tell them what you want, compare their rates, ask the rates, the returns, ask all the questions, or like any question that you feel, okay, I'm going to put my money here. What will make me comfortable to sleep at night? Those kind of questions, ask them, because it's your money you're going to put there. So you can just get about 3 or 4, ask, compare, then you can make a decision. But in terms of inflation, there are some people too who don't have time to put their money there. Some people feel that, okay, if I buy and sell, I can turn things around quickly compared to putting my money in some investment package or something. So if you know you are good with buying and selling, you can turn around your money quickly, make a profit, and go that way. So it depends on you. Like whatever you want to decide depends on you. I know buying and selling, depending on what area you want to go to, you can make some money quickly compared to put your money in an investment. My buying and selling, it's a bit kind of slow. So for me, I know I'll make that kind of money within that period. So it depends on you. So assess your risk level.
Thanks, Marina. So to add to what she said, you know that a CD today is not the same as a CD tomorrow. So investing your money is far better than keeping that money idle. So like you said, inflation is definitely going up. The savings might not give you enough returns, but at least it's better than keeping the money idle or using it for something else. Okay, so there's another question from Ransford. He starts by saying, as we are undertaking investment, I think we should not forget investment towards pensions. How do we invest towards our pension or retirement?
That thing. I think if you are in you have an employer, because the SNIT one, I'll lie to you, the computations is so complex. You don't even know that when you retire, how much you're getting on a monthly basis. I've not been able to figure that one out, but maybe you should call them. I don't know if they can explain it for you to understand. They have some computations behind it. But towards your private pension, if you work with an employer that does the tier 3, then it means you have an additional, what's the name, pension cover. I've worked with an employer who didn't do tier 3, but you, the employee, you can just check with your HR, or you can do it after tax. But I think it's much better if you check with your HR so that they deduct that amount towards a tier 3, even if your employer doesn't do that. But if you think that'll be so much of a long process, then you can decide to do it on your own. When you receive your money, you put a percentage in a private pension fund. There are quite a number now, but like I say, do your homework before you just go and put your money in there. I don't want to mention names. There are a few I use, but I wouldn't want to mention names.
Thanks, Marwena. And to add to it, as per the session we had last week, first, just give me a minute. Your hand is up. I'll just give you the opportunity. You see that we had grown up in an environment that we all depended on the social security, the statutory one. But frankly speaking, it is not enough. So as we are young professionals, it's better we start having personal pensions So like she said, your company might even have the tier 3, but just walk to any, and the good thing is now we have a lot of pension companies around and it's flexible. We discussed this last month. As low as if it's 50 cedis I can pay, they can calculate that 50 cedis and how much it will be worth in 20 years for you. This can help us to supplement the pension that we'll get once we retire. And one thing we keep forgetting is pension is not just retirement. A lot of things. You can go redundant, you can lose your job, ill health can also happen. And some of these things, they are unpredictable. Aside your age that you know that when I reach pensions age, I'm going. How about sickness? How about losing your job? How about redundancy? So it's very common. Let's just start this personal pension, no matter how small it is. Let's save it, and at least it can supplement our retirement. Thank you. So Prosper, pardon me for keeping your hand waiting for long, but you can ask your question now.
Thankfully, my hands were down. It was just a virtual hands that were raised. So I'm no. I want to first of all say good evening to all of you and to commend Jemima for this wonderful program. I think it is worth it. Mine is not really a question. I think it's a suggestion, but that will be preceded by a question, answer to which I would make a suggestion. So for me, I'd ask a question. Would you want to invest in, say, treasury or anything alike, or invest in a fixed asset that would which interest is higher? Which one would you go for, Marina?
Okay. So for me, my risk tolerance, low to moderate. There's T-bill, there's fixed deposits. T-bill is fixed. Like if you want to do 91 day, you know this is the rate. If you want to do maybe 180, you know this is the rate. Fixed deposits, depending on the amount. I know you can sometimes negotiate with the people because they, with the financial institutions, they need the amount. So depending on the amount you have, if you have a whole lot of money you want to put into fixed deposits, you can negotiate. You have some kind of leverage, so you can negotiate the rate with them. But if your money is not so much, you can just check the rate for fixed deposit, check that for T-bill, and of course, you all want some more money, so you go with the one with the higher rate. But the other thing is, okay, what is your objective? That's the other thing you should ask yourself. What is the objective? Is it like I want to put my money down for it to grow? If you want to put your money down for it to grow, you can just go for T-bill and just keep it rolling with the interest. Principal and interest will keep rolling over the period. You can do that. Fixed deposit is for a period. So are you going to, okay, am I going to do 1 year fixed deposit? Then I'll assess, then maybe I'll roll forward again the amount and the principal. What do I want to do? So you have to also consider your investment objectives, the amount of money you have, and all that before you decide. I don't know if I
Marina. And to add to it, I think for somebody like me. Okay, Pastor, let me come in briefly. Yes, I would rather diversify depending on the amount that I have. So if, like you said, there's a fixed asset, there's T-bills, yes. Depending on the amount that I have, if it is possible, I'd rather like to diversify so that in case there's any risks on any of the investment, I can fall on the other.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so this is what I have decided to do a very long time ago. Okay. I entered into this investment lecture, and I overheard a lot of submissions, but I took one key thing out of it. I decided to go into fixed assets, specifically lands and landed properties. And I want to tell the guys here, if you have a heart of a lion, I think you should do the same. I procured a piece of plot, just making an allusion to one plot that I procured in an area somewhere I got it for 70,000 and walled it and put some little structure on it, spent just 30,000. Today it is going for 300,000, just a little above 2.5 years, and it is going high by the day. So I think one of the best ways to invest is to invest into landed properties. Just a quick submission. Thank you. Thank you, Mama. I think it's a good program.
Sorry, when you said fixed asset, I was thinking I had fixed deposits.
Oh, that's okay.
Okay, so what you are saying is very true. But the other thing too is it depends on the location too.
Yes, you're right.
You have to assess the location. Does it have is that prospect that is going to be like a fast growing place? I live in Amasaman now. Okay. Previously, land in Amasaman, I'm sure it was just a piece of cake. But currently, you have like middle class people moving towards this part of town. And now, when people want to buy a house, when I hear the prices, I'm like, hey, when did that change? When did that change happen? So I think you also have to check the area, then the future prospects of that area probably becoming a new development or something. Then gradually, that certainly your investment in that landed property would grow.
So luckily for me, I got a place they call Celebrity Hills. As to how they gave that name to that area, I don't know. But it actually shot the value of properties around that area to anything. And on a daily basis, trust me, on a daily basis, cost of land is going higher. And so, yes, I agree with you. It depends on the area. And the best place to go now is towards where the new interchange is. If anybody has money and wants to go around that area, I would advise you go because accessibility is now good. So
yeah, that's true.
Okay. All right. Thanks to all of you.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry, Jemima has lost her connection. This is Anja, so I will just act in her place before she rejoins. Okay. So thanks, Marina, for the insightful presentation. I think Priscilla's hand is up. So Priscilla, would you like to ask a question?
Okay, thank you, Angie. Mine is not really a question, but feedback I would like to share with everyone. Thank you, Jemima and Marina, for the topic. It's very timely. So what I want to say to everyone is that investment it's really a difficult thing to do. You have to really challenge yourself. You need to go the extra mile to invest. There can never be too much money. Sometimes we wait for us to get so much money before we decide to invest. But you all bear with me that as human beings, satisfy our needs. So it also takes a lot of discipline. So I want to encourage everyone that irrespective of the amount that you earn, just take up the challenge and then invest, no matter how small it is, because the little investment that you do now could result in something big in future. So let's take up this challenge and then let's be very, very disciplined. It comes with a lot of discipline. Yes, so that is the comment I would like to share with everyone.
Thank you very much, Priscilla, for your contribution. Any final questions before we round up? Okay, so there is a message in the chat box from Jeff, which says, bonds are also a good type of investment, long-term and higher returns than T-bills and fixed deposits. Real estate too is another wonderful line of investments. Thanks, Jeff, for sharing your views on possible investments that our audience can take. So it seems our host, Jemima, is still yet to join. So, Marina, if you would like to give your concluding remarks.
Okay. So I think overall, now we are investing. I'm sure you're using time, you're studying towards something. Even if you don't have the money, say, oh, I don't have the money, I'm not to invest. Today, you know that you are investing. It's time. It's resource. You are investing. Then, and two, like we said, a number of us have said, no amount is too small. So for instance, like I think we've had feedback from people who have used other investment packages, bonds, real estate, landed properties. to get to that level, you still need money. So you still have to start with a small money. That money you think, oh, this money, what can it do? But like 50 cedis, it can do a lot. So you can gradually create that habit towards it. Oh, I've seen this land I want to buy, it's 30,000. Oh, yes, okay. So I want to buy this land in 2 years' time. How much should I put down maybe every week, every month to get this money to be able to buy this land? And like Priscilla said, if you know, you have to create that habit, that discipline. If you know you don't trust yourself, then please do a standing order against your account. That's one thing I would want to say. Then I don't know whether Jemima was able to join or she did we lose her again?
Yeah, I don't see her in the list here.
Okay, so I think she was supposed to conclude with a challenge. So today, like she said, what amount are you going to start putting aside? It shouldn't be after paying your bills and shopping and spending. No, you should put that money aside before you know what I'm going to chop or spend for this period. Once your money comes, you just put it aside. So the challenge is, what amount am I going to put down? There are some rules of thumb. Suppose say between 10% to 20% of your income, but you decide it should be achievable. Then gradually, when you cultivate that habit, you can decide to increase it over a period. So the first challenge: what amount can I put on a weekly basis or a monthly basis? Okay. Then how am I going to achieve that? We want that, okay, by the end of the year, you come back to Jemima and say, oh, Jemima, I didn't know I could save 10,000. No, I didn't know I could save 6,000. No, it's doable. Once you're able to break that barrier, going forward, you can increase the amount and you'll be able to invest and do other things. And one other thing, if you think you can't do it alone, you can get like an accountability partner. So let's say Angela, Jemima. Okay, Jemima says, so Angela wants to start with 10 CDs a week. Then Angela says, so I want to start 20 CDs maybe a week. So what we want to put it aside maybe every Friday. So every Friday, let's check on each other. Did you put your money aside? Hey, thank you. So like some kind of accountability so that we are able to achieve that. So like that's what I have.
Okay, thank you very much, Marina, for running up our topic for us. Jemima has just joined us again. Welcome, Jemima. We are the conclusion. So if you have your concluding remarks, I'll take over from.
Oh, thank you very much. Pardon me. I lost connection briefly, but I'm back. Thank you very much for the participation. I know most of you are quite busy and on a Sunday evening, but the turnout had been good. And I like how the discussions had been, the contributions and the questions that had come on board. And to most especially to Mawena, our guest speaker, thank you very much. I know the notice was quite short, but at least you had time to prepare for this session. And okay, it's worth noting that these slides will be shared. In case you want it via email, you can drop your email in the chat box. If you want it via WhatsApp, I'll send it through the normal WhatsApp chat that we do. So in conclusion, what I can say is, since investment gives a true reflection of our lifestyle, and in one of the tips that I shared, I said, if we deliberately dress to look nice, then we should deliberately invest to have our investment also looking nice. We know it is a challenge. That's why today, I, Jemima, I choose to challenge myself to invest. So as many of you who wants to join this challenge, you can just raise your hand. Let's put on our camera briefly as we take a good picture for today's challenge. Dog. So we all put on our camera and we raise our hands as we give the challenge.
Charlie, I have a bad chest here, so I can. I'm compelled not to invest in that.
Are we ready for the group camera picture?
Yep.
Okay, so I choose to challenge to invest. Let's all repeat that. I choose to challenge to invest.
I choose to challenge to invest.
Thank you all for making time with us. Let's look forward to our new topic next month. We have interesting topics coming up, and like we did this month, we'll be having different personalities in each field. So for instance, if we discuss something on tax, on insurance, on audit, anything that we'll discuss, inventory, I'll try as much as possible to bring an expert who will take us through the practical sessions. I hope to take this investment challenge